The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD, has released a plan to help low income renters build equity and ownership. And there are some SNAP updates I want to share that I think you will want to know about for summer 2022. So, if you're eligible for SSI, you might now also be eligible for SNAP benefits under a new initiative from the Social Security Administration. And I have some information and updates about P-EBT and food for students and kids in school. The Florida Commissioner of Agriculture and Consumer Services, Nikki Fried, issued the following statement in response to Governor Ron DeSantis supposedly falsely claiming that President Joe Biden is threatening to take away lunch money from poor kids as punishment for protecting women's sports. But first, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD, department released a plan called Bridging the Wealth Gap Initiative, which will allocate $113 million in funds to help low income families increase their earning income and improve financial stability. According to a press release, HUD's new agenda focuses on asset building through increased savings, access to mainstream banking, and credit score improvement. The department believes economic stability can be achieved or is achievable for millions of Americans by integrating these asset building tools. HUD Secretary Marcia Fudge said, with bridging the wealth gap and this historic funding opportunity, we're trying to make sure that every single person in this country can get their piece of the American dream. She said, we're looking at everything through a lens of equity and how we address systemic racism. We're giving people who have historically been left out and underserved the resources to take a chance on their futures, to improve their credit, save resources for home ownership and other needs, as well as build wealth. That's what this is all about. There's no denying that American families are having a hard time saving. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development's new wealth building initiative will be an expansion of its Family Self-Sufficiency FSS program, which currently serves around 65,000 participants at over 700 public housing authorities. FSS is a voluntary program that uses a combination of coordination of services and supports from community partners and an escrow savings account to help participants grow their earned income and savings. In 2021, the average family was able to save around $9,500 after participating in the program. While millions of Americans are struggling to save due to soaring rental and life necessity costs over the years, a report published by Redfin in June found that apartment rentals climbed in 2022. No shock there, stating that the average monthly rent in May was above $2,000 across the U.S. Now, that's a 15% increase from where it was last year. And in 2021, the median cash savings for renter households was around $1,400 compared to the homeowner cash savings of over $10,000. So renters were less likely to have the ability to build savings, while homeowners were more likely to have more money in their savings bank accounts. HUD's Building the Wealth Gap plan will work to combat the issue by increasing federal rental assistance and helping families work towards home ownership through vital home buying programs. Credit is an essential part of the wealth building puzzle for millions of low income families. But what happens if your credit is invisible? A study found that nearly 26 million Americans fell under the category of invisible. The study attributed the cause to people failing to report their credit history to nation's top agencies, including Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. A limited credit history can create real barriers for consumers looking to access the credit that is often so essential to meaningful opportunity like getting an education, starting a business, or buying a house. Some of the most economically vulnerable consumers are more likely to be credit invisible. There are great opportunities and resources available if you are interested in building up savings, improving your credit score, or buying a home. The links will be in the description. And HUD wants to help renters build assets too. HUD's Bridging the Wealth Gap, an agenda for economic justice and asset building for renters, describes actions the department will take to help low-income renters build assets through savings, access to mainstream banking, and credit score improvement. Specifically, Bridging the Wealth Gap, announces the following current and future actions HUD is taking to promote access asset building. Current asset building actions include launching the Asset Building Moving to Work MTW demonstration, expand asset building programs like the Family Self-Sufficiency Program, move from annual to triennial income recertification, support renters with credit and financial counseling, help HUD assisted young adults save, partner with federal agencies and stakeholders, and future asset building actions are expected to include building credit history through rent reporting, integrating financial well-being and supportive services into PHA standard practice, improving home ownership programs and supports for HUD-assisted renters as well. The $113 million Family Self-Sufficiency FSS program is the nation's largest asset building program for low-income families and currently serves around 65,000 participants at over 700 public housing authorities. FSS is a voluntary program working with community partners, and it coordinates services to create an escrow savings account that helps participants grow their earned income and savings. The average family in FSS in 2021 had about $9,500 in savings once they graduated. And there are some SNAP updates I want to share that I think you'll want to know for summer 2022. Find out what's happening with your SNAP benefits this summer in just a moment. But first, the Florida Commissioner of Agriculture and Consumer Services, Nikki Fried, issued the following statement in response to Governor Ron DeSantis supposedly falsely claiming that President Joe Biden is threatening to take away lunch money from poor kids as punishment for protecting women's sports. Fried said, Governor DeSantis is the deranged one for using hungry kids in this political stunt. He is lying. Period. The National School Lunch Program has nothing to do with bathrooms, locker rooms, or sports. Our department passed on non-discrimination guidelines from the federal government, which only applied to the lunch line, saying that children can't be discriminated against by being denied meals at school. That's it. Nothing else. If he really cared so much about feeding kids, he would have applied for available federal supplemental child nutrition funding, which I've been calling on him to do for months now, and that's deranged. Nikki also said for Governor DeSantis, this isn't about the well-being of kids in Florida. It's just another culture war for him to wage to score political points to run for president. The only people who are inappropriately imposing sexuality in schools are Republicans who seem to be obsessed with which bathrooms kids are using. It's perverted and deeply inappropriate. Governor DeSantis should be ashamed of himself, and parents should be concerned about why he and his administration seem to be intent on sexualizing every aspect of schooling in Florida. And this comes after Commissioner Fried held a press conference in response to guidance from the Florida Department of Education, encouraging schools to disobey updated federal non-discrimination guidelines from the USDA. The guidance from the USDA requires schools that participate in the National School Lunch Program to hang a poster with an updated non-discrimination statement in their school food service area. And it is reported that the Florida Department of Education is encouraging schools to defy this guidance in violation of federal law. Ending child hunger has been one of Commissioner Fried's top priorities during her time in office. And last year, after reports of many roadblocks from the DeSantis administration, Commissioner Fried secured $1 billion for supplemental meals for Florida children through the federal P-EBT program. The program is still active, and Commissioner Fried has repeatedly encouraged the DeSantis administration to apply for a new round of available summer assistance for hungry children. But there have been reports that they have yet to do so. The federal government's Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program has garnered a lot of headlines this summer, from the rollout of the summer P-EBT program that aims to feed underprivileged kids to the continued expansion of online purchasing options for SNAP beneficiaries. SNAP, formerly known as food stamps, is a U.S. Department of Agriculture program that provides financial assistance to help low-income Americans buy food, and the benefits are processed through the electronic benefit transfer debit card system. There's a partnership between the USDA and states and territories launched a program to provide children with temporary food benefits called Summer PEBT for pandemic electronic benefit transfer. More than 27 states and territories were participating in the program and providing an estimated 13 million children with food. Children were eligible for the program if they received free or reduced price meals during the school year, or if they are under the age of 6 and lived in a household receiving SNAP benefits. The benefits are loaded onto EBT cards that can be used to purchase food. And Instacart has expanded SNAP EBT payments to 10 more states. Last month, Instacart expanded its use of SNAP EBT card payments to 10 additional states. These states included Colorado, Hawaii, Idaho, Louisiana, Montana, New Mexico, Oregon, Utah, Washington, and Wyoming, bringing the total to 49 states and Washington, D.C. Currently, the only state that doesn't accept the Instacart EBT payment is Alaska. Following the expansion, Instacart said it now accepts SNAP EBT payments at more than 60 retailers at 8,000 plus stores and reaches nearly 30 million SNAP beneficiaries. And if you want to apply for SNAP, you can now apply for SNAP at the same time when you apply for SSI. I've read that if you receive Supplemental Security Income or SSI, you might now also be eligible for SNAP benefits under a new initiative from the Social Security Administration. And you can even apply for both at the same time. If your household is applying for SSI or already received SSI or receiving SSI, the SSA will help you complete your SNAP application over the phone. I'll put a link to the phone number in the description under this video. The SSA will also help you complete the application in person if you have a scheduled appointment. And you can mail your SNAP application by request, as well as sending your completed application to your local SNAP office on your behalf. Also, just a heads up, the USDA announced plans to expand the number of retailers that offer online shopping for SNAP benefits. This is part of USDA offering a $5 million grant to expand online EBT food stamp assistance. This may be very helpful to some folks who aren't as mobile and don't have the ability to drive to different stores locally. The USDA announced last month that the SNAP EBT Modernization Technical Assistance Center grant will fund an organization that can provide online shopping technology and systems support to retailers, and they are currently seeking applications. The aim is to give SNAP participants access to a broader selection of retailers while shopping for groceries online. The grant is funded by the American Rescue Plan, and all applications must be submitted by 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on September 6th, with the recipients of the grant scheduled to be announced in the fall. And with this year's surging inflation rate, including the price of food, which is rising even higher than overall inflation, SNAP benefits could see spikes due to inflation. The USDA announced SNAP maximum allotments, deductions, and income eligibility standards at the beginning of each fiscal year, which runs from October 1 through July 1. And the benefits are based on changes in the cost of living or the amount of money needed to support a basic standard of living. Consumer Price Index data for June showed that the Food at Home Index, meaning food you buy at a grocery or supermarket store, soared 12.2% from the previous year, which was the biggest spike in 4 decades. So there's a good chance that the SNAP benefits program may see an increase soon. So we're going to keep an eye out for that.